We're back with the League of the Genuine Conversations with me, your host, Fred Muwema. Every Friday, we are discussing the big topic of counterfeits, substandards, and fake products that are strewn all over us. As usual, we have a new guest. We have a special guest on this conversation, Mr. Hillary Mbabazi. He just told me he's a computer engineer and he's also a marketeer. Hillary, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
My issue, Hillary, is this.
Yes.
I have hosted so many guests, doctors, engineers, professors, and I have not found a profession that is free from counterfeits. Which profession do you think you'll tell me, this profession, for us, we don't have counterfeits?
Thank you so much for inviting me to this session. I've been following the previous engagements. They have been quite interesting and creating awareness. When you talk about the profession that is not affected by counterfeits, I can say it's not there. Because while there is a good, there is a bad. So, and there are always copycats. So I cannot say that there is no profession without counterfeits. For example, engineering, we have issues with technology. You have seen the screens. There's always a counterfeit. When you look at marketing, the same applies to a service. There's always a counterfeit. So I don't think there's any profession.
But don't these professions have ethics, standards in marketing? So why would somebody, for example, market a fake product? Don't you marketeers have like standards, ethics? It must be fit for purpose.
Yes. One is, if I'm not mistaken, for example, when you're studying marketing, your first year and bit of second year, you study about code of ethics of your profession.
Yes.
And even those who go further, but it all
so
comes
if you
back
have
to
a
money.
code of ethics, how come
Yes.
we have so many counterfeits on the market? Yet marketing has a code of ethics.
I can say it's the lag of the regulations. Even the people who set the code of ethics, what next? They put out a paper, they put out notes. What next? They follow up to see if they are being achieved or are people following them. And secondly, it's all about business. Now, for example, for us marketing people, some of us, there are those who follow the code of ethics like me, is it's all about money. Marketing is the heart of every business. Marketing is the heart of every, I can say that to the public and the viewers. So it usually consumes a very high budget. So what does that mean? If a company is offering me quite some good money, I think when it comes to standards, it may not be a problem.
You forego. But Hillary, you'll make the money.
Yes.
You are telling me offset that you are working with some Nigerian marketing firm.
Yes.
And they were paying quite some amount. But so you make the money and then go to the market and find fakes and buy them and lose the money and lose your wealth and lose your health. So isn't it counterintuitive for you to be making the money and then spending it on fakes? Because you get no value, you hurt yourself.
It's actually very bad. It's not good, both to the public, to the consumer. But most of the time, since Offset, we are having a chat, and you said one of the things that ACN does is research, applied research. Most of the people don't consume what they sell. You find a waitress telling, I don't drink alcohol, and they're selling alcohol because they know the kind of product they're selling. So we are a bit selfish and greedy to some extent, in that you want to make your money, but what you put out to the society, sometimes you don't know that it is genuine and is good for the people. So it all happens in the medical, the medical sector, health sector. Somebody is selling a particular product or medicine, but the person who is recommending, the doctor or the nurse, for them they say, me, I cannot take this, I prefer the other one. Why? Because maybe it is cheap, maybe it has been quicker for them to find in their facility. But for him, when he's sick, they don't actually take that medicine. They prefer to get something
else.
better. So that is, we are a bit greedy and selfish. It's the culture that has been intrigued in us. So that's why you find fathers at home, somebody before going home, he passes somewhere, takes his pork, then reaches home and eats beans. So it's in the mindset. So the positive mindset, we are greedy, we are selfish, we don't care.
We don't care. But talking about we don't care, don't you think that the problem of counterfeits we have is down to the we don't care attitude of the youth? I've seen your CV, you're fairly young person, despite the big beard. But do we account for the increase in counterfeits on the market by the youthful population that we have? Are you the guys doing the bidding for the counterfeits? You're promoting it, you're buying it, you're consuming it, you're demanding it?
So the youth, we have a high population in Uganda. I'm going to specifically focus on Uganda.
And a high appetite for counterfeits. Yes. Is that correct?
Yes, because we don't have enough money in our pockets. So we prefer cheap things. That is one. As a consumer, so I'll look for the cheaper thing. So when you look at cheap, that means you're going to look at quality, of course something of low standard. That is one. Then as a person who is in business, actually Uganda, we are also more and highly enterprising. Youth have
the second highest entrepreneur country.
Oh my God.
No, the first actually. The second is Thailand.
Oh, those
you're
days,
entrepreneur, but you're using your entrepreneur skills
yes,
to manage fakes.
Now I'm going to come to that to give an example. Before that, back in the days, to be called a CEO, it was besides the money you're making, but how long have you been in business? But I've seen graduates. Somebody has just graduated, started a company. The social media, he's the CEO. The family members are calling.
He's the president. President of the company.
So we are very enterprising. So how has this come up? We have not been sensitized. We have not been trained. Somebody starts a business. They're into production. They're making soap. Oh my God. You cannot even buy even the wife at home, the girlfriend is not using the soap they are making. They just want to make money. They put products outside there, which are a counterfeit, I can say. The quality is poor. But why are they doing that? They have seen an opportunity. They have seen a gap. UNBS is not going to look for them. For UNBS to come and look for you, they don't have enough money to do that. One, even the people that are supposed to do that work, I'm being honest because I like being honest. Most of the people who are supposed to do that work, you yourself, you have to follow up with a lot of emails. Please come and visit my site and see my products. First email, you call. For the person to come from office to come to you, the boss has to approve a budget, has to approve transport allowance. So you find there is a gap, we are utilizing that. So if they cannot regulate me, let me freelance. So that is also a problem.
So on this program, I'll tell you, Hillary, that many times we invite somebody to come and speak here, and oftentimes the person might even think counterfeit. I have nothing to do with it. I mean, for me, I buy my stuff here. For me, I'm okay. Yes, I had one issue. I bought a phone. It was fake. But they actually do not think this is a serious issue. What is it that needs to be done to make our youth, to make our populations, to make Africans appreciate the value of quality products? What needs to be done?
Okay, that is a very good one, because one of the things we do is we have an e-commerce platform, the Buy Uganda, BUBU Uganda online shop.
That is Soko.
Soko, that was launched in 2019, presided over by His Excellency, the President of Uganda. And
is this the BUBU shop?
You call
BUBU,
it, it's Soko Uganda. It's
Soko
BUBU online shop.
It's
Buy
the
Uganda
BUBU online shop.
Yes,
Soko
yes.
Uganda.
Yes. So we dubbed it Soko Uganda. Soko, which means market. So we market Uganda. And so I'm going to give you a background of what needs to be done. We have been doing research on that as people have been showcasing the products. Because we also get feedback from very big brands. Somebody said, I bought this product, it has been in existence for 20 years. It's poor quality. And do you know why that happens? is I can be a manufacturer of this phone when standardizations and any other requirement, maybe from UNBS, come in, I'm perfect, I'm high top, 100%. But my first product that I gave to UNBS is tick.
And that is certified,
yes,
and a quality mark is
yes. Now
placed on there.
That is my test product I took to UNBS. Now when I come back to business, I need to make profit, to pay workers, to pay electricity costs. The next product
put aside the tested product.
Yes. Now let's come to the distribution product. Totally different. Accredited companies. Now, they change the
But are you saying that UNBS does not have capacity to do field visits and inspections?
No, it doesn't.
Or does it not have capacity at the point of production to check each product that goes off the production line and goes into the packaging and into the market? Because what's the point of you putting a mark on one product, or you put it on the wrapping? It's printed there, you authorize, and then they keep wrapping and you don't check the contents. Is the quality mark about quality of the packaging or quality of the contents?
Both, especially more on the quality of the content, the product that people are consuming.
But if you don't check it, how do you assure the quality?
They do check, but I'm going to come on the part of, does UNBS have the capacity? It has the human resource. That's the human resource capacity it has, people who are qualified and skilled. But it doesn't have the money to do the work. It doesn't have the money to run to, there are very many businesses, up country, Gulu, Isinjiro, doesn't have the capacity to run daily, test, visit. No, doesn't have the enough capacity to do that. So it needs a bit of support. So that is why most of the products, they are not tested. They cannot track which new product has come. Now that is a very important issue that I think we are the ones trying, because we go on the ground. They cannot track which new product has come on the market. The product is going to stay on the market for 2 years. They can only track you when they have seen a report maybe from URA, or when they have gone for an exhibition and they see you exhibiting, they're like, hey, this product exists. That is the only chance they can get. Or if luckily enough one of the employees was watching TV and they see you advertising, they'll be like, this product exists, then they note down.
So there is no scientific way of everything is by chance, by accident?
By accident. I wake up in the morning, I sit down, I said, today I need to visit this company I saw on Facebook. So it's just
random.
Random. So to go back to what you said, what needs to be done, knowledge is power. At Soko, we only focus primarily on spreading knowledge and awareness. We have to create knowledge to the consumer first, to know how can I differentiate between a counterfeit product and a product that is not counterfeit. Because I can tell you, I cannot know, for example, I don't know what is made of. I know water, but minerals, I don't know which kind of minerals. So if I get another brand, I won't differentiate what is in this and what is not in this. So we lack the knowledge.
But before you even differentiate between counterfeit and genuine, do you understand what a counterfeit is?
Yeah, to me, on the marketing angle and the business angle, I have a bit of knowledge of the counterfeit, but not so broad.
Okay, briefly, what would you share with the viewers? How do you understand a counterfeit?
A counterfeit to me is something that distorts the market using stealthy ways. For example, bringing something that is similar to a particular product that has existed, but on a low quality. That is one. Secondly, you can go to a brand. Somebody has just changed a brand by a letter, or just to steal a particular market of a already existing brand using rudely measures, stealthy measures. So that most especially are of low quality products. They just want to make money. So you find the quality is poor, the brand name is almost similar, they have just changed the italics, there are no contact numbers. Actually, if you want to make a counterfeit product, you go to the supermarket, any product you find that there is no phone number to reach them out to, that is a counterfeit product. They don't want to be found, but they tell you they are crisps. So that is, to me,
Hillary, you have a good idea. Actually, part of the objective of this show is to make people appreciate what a counterfeit is. But you have, in many words,
I have the practical view.
Describe. But yeah, basically, to agree with you, a counterfeit is, in simple terms, a product that is not genuine in the sense that it imitates the original in many ways. It can imitate the original in terms of the name. This is a BlackBerry, so if somebody can call it a BlackBerry and then imitates the shape, this is a design, the patent, and then the functionality. So if it's a product that is consumed, you might find that the active ingredients or the necessary ingredients are altered. They put less of or more of the other. So basically that is a counterfeit. And the counterfeit thrives on deception. You deceive the consumer. You get a fast-moving, well-grown product in the market, and you want to dupe the consumer to buy your product thinking it is the other product, whereas it is not.
Sure.
We need to take a break. We're having a conversation here with Hillary Mbabazi. We are back with the second segment of the League of Genuine Conversations. We are here with Hillary Mbabazi, a marketeer, a computer engineer. Hillary, you were talking about the BUBU online shop. Now, somebody listening to BUBU online shop will say, buy, build Uganda.
Buy Uganda, build
Buy
Uganda.
Uganda, build Uganda. But this BUBU thing, how can you build Uganda when you're manufacturing and selling and buying fakes? This BUBU thing, is it real? And why is it that we have BUBU and yet UNBS, which you say has no capacity, cannot check whether we have fakes or not properly? It came up with a report and said, I think 55 or 60% of products were substandard and fake. So if somebody is to question you, what is the relevance of BUBU in the fight against counterfeits?
One,
through your Soko thing.
Yes. One is buy Uganda, build Uganda. Our main core is to create awareness of the locally made products so that we encourage...
To create awareness or to create manufacturing capacity?
I'll begin with awareness. To create awareness of brands or products and services that are made in Uganda so that the public can start consuming. Instead of importing, you first consume your very own. For example, like what I'm putting on.
This is a BUBU product.
This is locally made, yeah. So instead of me importing this from...
Is the cotton imported or locally made also?
Everything is locally made from here. So instead of importing this, I would prefer to buy it from here. So it's to encourage the people to buy what is made from here so that we can balance the trade. Now,
why do you need to encourage them? Were they discouraged in the first place
yes,
from buying local?
Yes, I see why you're taking me. Yes, they were discouraged from buying from buying local because even up to now on our e-commerce platform, we don't sell more like other e-commerce platforms like Jumia. Why? Quality. People are still doubting the quality of products made in Uganda. So especially things to do with some of items, people have the quality issue. They're like, I doubt the quality there.
Quality.
Yeah.
So you're saying that BUBU came to create awareness of Ugandan products and to encourage us to buy.
Yes.
Did BUBU also address the quality issue, which was discouraging us?
Yes.
And if so, how?
One is our parent body is the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. There is a BUBU office, especially there, that handles issues to do with the local manufacturers and to do with standardization. So now, like as Soko, we work with UNBS. We work very closely with UNBS. How do we do that? We make sure that
you work very closely to do what? If you can be specific on what you do to make sure that we who are discouraged from buying Ugandan products, we buy them. What specifically are you doing?
So now, what we do specifically with UNBS is what I was coming to, is we make sure that if a product is new to the market or is already existing in the market and it wants to be supported by the BUBU initiative, you're supposed to meet the UNBS requirements or standards. That is one. If you don't have the capacity as a manufacturer, we support you and aid you with our partners to make sure that you have the required resources to get standardized by UNBS. For example, either through URI, they train you to have the best product. Now, there's where we stop. That is why SCN will come in with its applied research. I don't know if you've ever invited somebody from UNBS here. Is UNBS giving us the right information? Because for us, we also embark on UNBS's work.
You don't go to the ground.
We don't know what happens at UNBS.
You are desk guys.
For us, we stop at what UNBS has provided to the public. Yes, this product is standardized. It has a Q mark. It is set to go to the market. Then we carry on with that. So the challenge is you find even that product when you go to the market, there's a particular, customers and consumers have tastes and preferences. The same person is going to tell you, I don't like the quality. So we are not sure, maybe since you're also in research, we don't know what quality is to the consumer.
No, but products, if you're talking of standards, if it is a mattress,
yes,
it has got specs.
Yes.
It must be of this gauge, it must be of this material, it must be this form. So if that is standardized,
yes,
then you may not be able to say that you don't know what a quality thing is.
It takes me back to the first example I gave. There is the product I will take to UNBS. They test it, it is perfect. Now I can use your mattress. They gauge, maybe the first 100, they come to our warehouse. Then when it comes to they have given us the paperwork we need and the stamp, I start my distribution. I may not give the exact quality that I gave UNBS because I need to make money. Why? Because the costs of production are high. Electricity is high. Employees are quarreling because they want high pay. So I have to make sure I minimize costs and sell a bit higher to get enough profit. So the product I gave to UNBS is totally different to what is in Nakawa market. That is where the problem comes from. And UNBS goes out and says the products are of good standard. So UNBS doesn't have the capacity to run all over on the 1 million products produced by a particular company.
So you're saying if UNBS says a particular product is of good standard, we should not take their word for it. We should double check.
You have to double check.
That's what you're saying.
Sustainability is needed. Continuity is needed in business. If I've checked in January, I should send my investigators randomly, a private body randomly, like in June. I go to Gulu and get that product and come and test it randomly. But you're doing it for one company. The company has a product line of 6 products. So I can tell you, for example, in our platform, for us, we have around 5 million products. Some we don't put. So UNBS doesn't have the capacity to go and test every product.
So what you're telling the viewers, that when it comes to fighting counterfeits, it is everyone for himself and God for us all.
Yes.
You don't rely on BUBU, don't rely on UNBS, don't rely on your pastor, don't rely on yourself.
Yeah, that is one. Charity begins at home. These bodies come to, it's like security. You have to protect yourself before the security officers come in. So when it comes to quality, if I come and see this product is fake, do I have to complain to my neighbor? They gave me a fake product. Why can't I get the phone number or email address or go to UCC and say, have a look at this phone. This is the receipt. I bought it last week. What is the problem? We don't mind. It's me, myself. I only one time also, I got fed up. I sent an email to UNBS about a product. I bought it, got spoiled. I sent an email. I was not responded. When I met them at exhibition, I asked them.
Several months later.
Yes, and it was by chance I went for an exhibition. They had a stall. I told them, sir, I had a complaint. I sent you an email. Nobody responded to me. The man literally told me, oh, please send to my personal email. This email on the website, we don't usually know those emails of info. I don't know if you also like that. People usually ignore, they give us the emails, most organizations.
By check once in a while.
info@scn.com. You send an email that you will never get reply.
For us, we answer at least.
Glory be to God.
So what you are saying, basically, is that there's a lot of carelessness, there's a lot of negligence, there's a lot of I don't care attitude about this problem in our midst. And here we have summed up what we call the drivers of counterfeits, which, according to you, Duncan is there: differentiation, affordability, convenience, concealed danger, negligence, aspiration. According to you, these drivers are down to what? Is there one single thing that actually drives all these drivers in Duncan?
Let me see. I can say it's knowledge, lack of knowledge, because all this goes back to knowledge. When you look at the differentiation, I cannot differentiate a counterfeit from a genuine product.
Because you lack product knowledge.
I lack product
And
knowledge.
who should be giving you the knowledge to differentiate?
One, the people who standardize the genuinity of a product.
What about the manufacturer?
The manufacturer, they do, actually they are the...
Don't you think they are the primary knowledge vendors here?
No, because they are not primarily. It is for when you look at production products, UNBS is primarily, because they also have to get a say from UNBS first. So when UNBS approves the product, then they can come in later for their marketing to say yes, because for them to prove that they are the right product, they back up using UNBS information. So primarily it is UNBS. I would be happy if you say end of this financial year, UNBS puts up a list of all genuine products in each sector, in New Vision, on their website. So that before like what they did for e-commerce platforms during COVID, ministry, was it ICT? They put out a list of genuine e-commerce platforms to be able to buy and be delivered your products at home to avoid fraud. So we'd be happy if UNBS had a list of, say, in foods and beverage, these are the... When I'm going to buy, if I'm tech, when I go to the shop and I see a product, I first type in
to see.
If I don't see it there, I'm like, give me that one. So it is UNBS.
But don't you think that you may be giving a lot of responsibility to UNBS? Because if you see, you've had of product recalls.
Yes.
You've had Samsung, it burnt up and they recall it. You've seen cars. That recall is done by the manufacturer. Yes, the regulator will come in, go on the market, identify the product has a defect, and then the recall is actually done by the manufacturer. So don't you think that these brands that spend millions of dollars every year in advertising, they should use some of that advertising space to tell us, the consumers, the difference between the genuine and the fake that is found on the market, instead of just doing promotion for the sales of the product, and every time they promote a genuine product, they also promote a fake one. Don't you think we should change the way we are advertising and require the brands in their advertising to give us the differentiation in there?
Thank you so much. Yeah, like you said, we are piling a lot of work to UNBS. That's why you cannot move alone. You need development partners. For example, that is why ACN, for example, is coming in to help on counterfeit, to help the government, to help Soko and other partners. One, the manufacturer has to take an initiative. Also to...
Are they taking it in your view?
Some
who is helping the consumers to identify a fake version of their product? Which brand?
Let me see, for example, they per se, it's in telecom, I wish I can remember. If I cannot remember offhand, that means it's 1 out of a million.
I have had an advert. I have had an advert on radio, and credit to, I think it is Shell. I have had them advertising their LPG gas and saying avoid counterfeits, buy from a genuine dealer, buy from so and so. That is the information we're lacking as consumers. Even just where to buy from. Today, if I asked you, where can you buy genuine Omo or toothpaste, Colgate? Do you know where to buy it?
No, because I just go to random shops and supermarkets.
Yes. So don't you think, because it's even difficult for you. Remember, you are people behind BUBU, you've been in Wuma, you are in Soko, all these platforms, but you are hard pressed to find a single brand that cares enough about you, the consumer, cares enough to tell you what the fake is and what the genuine is. And yet, on the market, there are fake versions of every product. But they don't come out. Your call to the brands.
So one is, my call to the brands is to take the initiative to do that. But sacrifice because most of them don't have the budget to market.
They have a budget, not just
not
they have a budget. They are busy advertising on national TV, in the newspaper, online. They are paying social media influencers to push, their products. Why don't they utilize some of this airtime, this budget, to just tell us, watch out, even when they do a raid.
Now let me
Even
intervene.
when they do a raid,
yes, let me
and
intervene.
take out the fakes,
Let me intervene.
they don't tell us as consumers.
Let me intervene. To be honest, it goes back to knowledge. There's a difference. There's a difference. Yeah, they don't have knowledge. There's a difference between a competitor and a counterfeit. So some of them are trying to send a message to a competitor claiming they're counterfeits. Some, because maybe, I don't want to go into details. One, some of the companies, they don't have the knowledge who a counterfeit of their brand is. Some are not aware. So those who have the opportunity to do that, that means they have gotten a chance to do their research. But I don't think, for example, you've used an example of gas. If they said that avoid the counterfeit, I don't know if they went and picked that gas or petrol, took it to their labs, tested to see. So I don't want to go into
They
that.
will go, I'll tell you, I've done this work for many years. They will go, get the counterfeiter, shut them up, report a police case.
Okay.
Half the time they will not even follow up. The case gets dismissed if it ever gets to the court. But this information they'll keep to themselves. The information of the
not
faker of the
public.
gas, the information of... it's not public. And then in the meantime, they spend billions
And
of
marketing.
shillings promoting this gas cooks best, and then they do a big advert, a mother there cooking, and the family is happy. That is misleading.
Yeah, I gave you an example on offset that we have companies that are paying us to market, but when you tell them to go and clear UNBS issue, they say they don't have money, and they're giving
But they'll
us.
pay you 5 million to do a website, but they cannot pay you NBS 1 million.
It goes back to the one
For the
word,
quality mark.
knowledge. So it needs the time you sit out with that person. Conferences, by the way, they have little impact. You have a workshop, somebody takes tea, some are not writing. It needs to have a one-on-one visit, like how we are here, how we had a long conversation. Talk to this entrepreneur, or two of them. It creates a lot of impact than me putting you in a hole and you take tea.
So we should have less conferences
Yeah.
and more action. We need to take a break. We are back with the third and final segment of this interesting conversation with my new friend here, Hillary Mbabazi. Hillary Mbabazi is in charge of Soko. Soko is activating the Buy Uganda. Build Uganda, Buy Uganda.
Buy Uganda, build.
But does it matter if you first build before you buy?
No, you first buy,
Then you build.
As you're buying, you're building indirectly.
Okay. Now, there is one area called online sales. I am sure you're very familiar with it. I have some very disturbing stats. First of all, 1 of every 4 products manufactured in the world at the moment is fake. And for online sales, almost 9 out of every 10 products sold, you'll find many of them will get fake, especially in these parts of the world. I have looked at the terms and conditions for some of the big platforms like Jumia, Alibaba. Very impressive anti-counterfeiting policy on Amazon.
Even us, we have.
You see, very colorful. And I have seen, for example, on Jumia, I saw that Jumia does not participate in the transaction. All it does, it puts the platform for you there, buyer, seller, you meet, whatever you do. But they have a condition there that seller should provide quality products. Now, you guys of online sales, you are actually impacting the fight against counterfeits negatively. You are promoting sales, but a significant amount of those sales is counterfeit.
Very true.
What do you say about online sales and the fight against counterfeits, broadly?
One is the previous session you said we are giving a lot of work to UNBS. So the primary goal of an e-commerce platform is to make money through online trading. You'll see the product, you like it, we give it to you. So when we add in another issue of controlling and the counterfeit issue, that is another cost to our business as e-commerce people that we wouldn't want to tap into. We always have an assumption that if you went online and picked a particular product, you already know about the product. So when you come to us and say the product is of poor quality or it was not the one that you saw, that is the manufacturer problem now, not the e-commerce platform. The e-commerce platform, our role is to link you. Our role is not to educate you on the kind of product that you're taking. So what we can do as e-commerce platforms is to give information on our websites, on our social media platforms, even us to control who is putting. For example, to go on an e-commerce platform, there's an accreditation that you have to go through. I can use ours locally. I don't want to use for companies like Jumia, Alibaba. One is, are you BUBU compliant? BUBU compliant is, do you locally make your products from Uganda? Are you standardized? Are you legally
But you have no
abiding?
means even of checking. If I come up and say I'm standardized, here is my quality mark,
Now,
here are the samples,
yes.
then you put my things up there and I start advertising.
Now that is a challenge.
Because you see,
Hillary, and some of them, we just give them a form, they show us their numbers, the registration numbers.
I don't quite agree that for you are just a platform that enables the sale and purchase of products. Let me read for you the Amazon anti-counterfeiting policy. You see the flowery and very good language. Products offered for sale on Amazon must be authentic.
Yes.
How reassuring this is. The sale of counterfeit products is strictly prohibited.
Yes.
But I can tell you many people have bought fake products on Amazon. Failure to abide by this policy may result in loss of selling privileges. If you're Amazon and you're giving me access to 1 billion consumers, 500 consumers around the world, you're saying this privilege can be lost. Funds can be withheld and disposal of inventory in our position. In other words, they can confiscate not only the money, but they can also confiscate the product. How is it possible to have such good policies and yet since COVID there has been an upsurge of pirated goods that are sold online? And if I tell you this, that a lot, for example, here in Africa, we now have telemedicine. If I tell you that a lot of the anti-malarials, most of them that we have here, are fake, how would you feel if you did online sales of medicine and it led to deaths of 100,000 Africans every year because of your sale? Would you sleep at night?
No. So now, I'll go back to one of your drivers, negligence. This is a participation with the manufacturer as well and the seller. You know, these are parties: consumer, the seller, and the middleman.
But you are the enabler.
Yes, the e-commerce platform. Now, if such nice write-up has been drafted by the lawyer like you and we've put on the platform, one, I'll begin with the seller, the manufacturer. Actually, they should actually be taking high priority, but they neglect. If you've gone on the platform, you're in cosmetics, you've seen a counterfeit product on our platform of your brand, you don't have to keep silent. Come to our office, send an email, and raise the concern. But if you keep quiet, for us, we don't know how to go, and we also don't have the capacity to know whether it is a counterfeit or not. So that is one.
But why don't you have a gate where you check? I have ordered a product online from a certain destination. Before you load it to give it to the courier, don't you have a mechanism in the whatever sorting room?
Back end,
to see back end to see that this product is genuine. Do you just receive payment receipt and you load?
Now, like
don't you think that there is negligence? If you're talking of negligence, there is negligence now of the online selling platforms, negligence of the brand, negligence
and regulators.
of the online.
You know, we also have regulators. online platforms, you have regulators.
Who is your regulator?
For example, UCC is one of our regulators. Even NITA now regulates.
But how do I regulate you, Soko? Does UCC actually go
UNBS
from the point of loading? Does it go there?
No.
Or it's just on the computer and it sees goods moving and money?
Yes.
So is that regulation really?
It is part of regulation. One is a counterfeit is physical. You see a physical product. And for us, what we do, for example, an e-commerce platform is the product, the image that we have put and showcased is the exact virtue of the physical of the product we have. So that means what you see on the e-commerce platform is the physical that we have. So you can see the branding. Actually, our priority is to show you the branding. I'll share the screenshots for the viewers so that they can see. In that, you can see the branding and say, this product as per the branding, it is a counterfeit. And when you go to our e-commerce platforms, we also give you the store list of every manufacturer. Every product that is there has the number of the manufacturer, the email address, and the address. So the regulators, or you, SCN, who is trying to help the anti-counterfeit, if there is a complaint that has come to you, for example, of a seller or a consumer about the product on the e-commerce platform, I can go and get the number, I can call, I can visit, or we can get the product and test. That is not our work. For us, we follow what you.
So you're saying that if somebody in Uganda bought a product from an online platform that is fake, you've said the regulator is UCC. So I give a call to UCC and said about this perfume, which was fake, and UCC will give me a new one?
No, they'll give to the enabler, the e-commerce platform, to alert. We have to work closely.
No, but is it practical that I report, okay, for you, you're just an enabler.
Yes.
There was a vendor who listed with you, and meanwhile you want money from this guy.
Yes, yes.
Okay? He paid you.
Yes.
Your motivation to condemn him when he's the one who gives you a paycheck at the end of the month is high or low? Be honest.
High. No.
Your motivation to condemn the person who pays you.
No, it is high, depending on...
so you lose that payment.
Yes, because
when you criticize him.
Yes, because one person cannot make me lose the vision and goal of the business. But there is the practical doing of something, and there's per se being on the camera. Some people interfere with that. I'm not saying me. I can give an example is, an issue may rise up. A consumer has called and said, this is a product that has brought this issue. It's not that we are going to remove the product all at once. We have an engagement with, I can give you an example of Shumuk. One time a person commented on our platform that they took the Shumuk saucepans and I don't know what happened, they got spoiled in a week. You know Shumuk, it makes the saucepans. And we reached out through UMA to the manufacturer to find out. We don't just put you out to the public. We reached out to UMA, Uganda Manufacturers Association, because Shumuk is a member of UMA, to find out why is it that some of the people on the platform, on BUBU, we are complaining about Shumuk, and Shumuk has all the requirements. So
meets the standards.
Yes.
So what happened in that case?
Actually, I forwarded the issue, and we tried to engage with Shumuk, one of the people at Shumuk. They tried to find out who the consumer was.
First of all, was it their product? Because a lot of products, a lot of fakes get into the supply chain of these companies. Either it's the driver, the salesman, gets a load of a pickup, takes off some boxes, puts fakes. So they are delivered as a Shumuk product. So was that the case?
Now I also don't know that, because as for the consumer, the email was sent to the BUBU office, was like, I bought a Shumuk. He said, I'm tired of Ugandan products. I bought a Shumuk product.
Saucepan.
Yes, and all of
So did you carry out an investigation? No. Because that's the other issue.
Negligence, we did.
You see?
Because it is not our priority. What we did, we followed up with Shumuk, we gave a report, and we stopped there. Was
there compensation to the consumer who bought those saucepans?
We don't have the resources to call and follow up to.
So that is another loss.
Yes.
And another deepening of the counterfeiting culture. And you see, the other challenge is that because you will buy online saucepans, I mean, even if you bought, they call it what, a set, it's not going to be, it may even not be $1 million shillings. It's going to be $100 or something. Now, the problem is that the amount of time, even data that you need just to call to follow up a loss of $100 may not be worthwhile. So because these are small sell values, it's not like it was a damaged car where you spent $10,000 or so to buy it. So that is also a factor that some people just leave it and let the loss lie where it falls. And so your conclusion on this is that you e-commerce platforms, you BUBU online,
Yes.
you are actually intentionally or unintentionally causing more damage to the consumers by supplying them with fakes and giving them even no recourse. Hillary,
Not really.
you're bad guys.
We are trying to avoid counterfeits, but like you say, we always try. It's a work in process. But I can say as BUBU, we don't allow counterfeits. The challenge we find is
You don't allow counterfeits on the platform in
the
BUBU,
platform.
in words, but in action.
Yeah, and in action,
They are thriving.
it is because they are development partners. So it is the laxity of some development partners. For example, if ACN says it is coming to enforce and help this issue,
Give us the money.
of
we shall go and grab the guys.
Of ACN to handle the issue of counterfeit. I sent 2 emails about an issue, and there's nothing that has been done. And I will try out actually and see.
But in the end, Hillary,
Yes.
you suffer because as you're sitting here, because of the high dependency ratio, for example, in this part of the world, it's at the youth dependency ratio here is 115%. Meaning behind Hillary there, behind your chair, you have a line of relatives, friends, and people who are going to ask you for dinner as you live here.
True.
The dependency is so high. Now, if we are losing employment, government revenue, we're losing health, the health budget is bloating
SDGs
because we are
being
eating.
affected.
The SDGs are all being affected. Sustainable Development Goal against poverty, climate change, everything gets affected by counterfeits.
Yeah.
So, if we do not self-regulate as a starting point, and then at the macro level also regulate, we are net losers.
True.
There's no benefit at all in allowing counterfeits to thrive.
But before we conclude, I would want to share this. It is very true. What you're saying is very true. We try, but we are in a culture of lack of knowledge, selfishness, and greed. We want money so fast.
We want money, we get it so fast and lose it so fast to counterfeits.
In that, even when you look at these buildings that are collapsing, the businessman wants quickly finish the building so that tenants can come in. So he has to minimize the costs of
Down spec.
Yeah, so we find even the long-term negative aspects come in. That is I don't know whether it is greed or it is lack of knowledge, because even lack of knowledge that if somebody says I need 5 cements to do this, I'm not sure if he's saying the truth because of the culture and the mindset we have. Actually,
You give him the 5, he does 1.
Yeah, even SCN, I think he should prioritize on the mindset. Mindset is very important because I may have the money. For example, in construction, I may have the money to put up a very good structure, but I'm not trusting the person who's saying 5 cements because the mindset, my backside says, he might be lying. They may do 4. He's lying. And he's telling the truth. But
And then you give 4 and he will do half.
Yes. So
We have
it is a chain.
We have 4 pillars at the SCN, intervention pillars to fight counterfeits. Applied research,
Yes.
communication for mindset change. This
Very
is part of
important.
it. We are helping to debunk and unpack this whole myth about counterfeits from this discussion. The other thing is we use technology. And then the last one, which is obvious, legal enforcement. So we are trying to activate the knowledge and understanding of the problem so that we move forward. As
before we finish, there's a challenge actually I can say we have, or personally me, or as a consumer, or as a person who is in trading of local products. If I have an issue, if I've seen a counterfeit product, because of so many organizations, because of lack of knowledge, I don't know who to report to.
Our email is right there on
Okay.
the screen. You can contact us. We do our best
So
to
you help up
ensure
to
that we follow up whatever information we give, even by just exposing it here.
At your cost?
Yeah, we try our best to ensure that we give this information out. We do work for some brands, we do work with some development partners. So it is at least the beginning point. It's one step in the right direction. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Hillary, as we conclude, we've just had our national budget read.
Yes.
48 trillion Uganda shillings, which is about 12-13 billion dollars. Our neighbors in Kenya have done better. They have about 28 billion. Our friends in Tanzania have about 17 billion. Our people in Rwanda have about 5 billion, 4-point-something billion. So collectively, you can say that the national budgets of the East African countries are close to maybe 60-70 billion, which is quite an amount. But our worry is that none of these countries in their budgets have got a specific intervention on counterfeits. In our national budget here in Uganda, 200 pages of the national budget. I think the only mention of the word counterfeits was when the minister stated at page 21
the competition bill?
Yes, that they are going to promote standards and market entry. And there was just one line. And he said, we shall finalize enactment of pending legal instruments, which include competition bill, consumer protection bill, and anti-counterfeits and quality product laws. In the fight against counterfeits, does the fish start rotting from the head or from the tail?
Currently now, the way I don't know how they handle their issues, but it is in the wrong way. It's not the best way. It's right, but not the best way. You're supposed to start from the grassroots to sort the issue of counterfeit. So what I'm saying is, the budget, when you see the money allocation, when you go to the itemization of items, I don't know what's there, but I'm very sure when you go to the itemization.
We have, for example, the parish development model. We are going to spend 1 trillion shillings.
When you look at,
I'm worried half of it will just get lost in.
So the budgets, they don't allocate money for the real technical work. For example, you are a director. Majority of the people who do the work, for example, are the people behind the cameras, the people who are doing the work. So you may speak to the public and give them. So,
but without them,
so this most of the money you'll find sensitization workshops, paperwork, but the technical, like what you're doing, going to the company, scanning the environment to see which product is there, there's no money allocated. It's just the policy, meeting, workshop, sensitization, TV program, emails, but the technical, the grassroots,
execution,
the person who mixes the cement,
the execution is lacking.
There's no money.
Your message to government, to consumers, to fellow Africans.
I would thank you for the opportunity. I would like to send this honest message as a consumer to the consumers in Uganda and outside Uganda, especially who are consuming locally manufactured goods. Be careful of counterfeit products because they affect your health in a short and the long run. They affect your finances, by the way. Not cheap is good, cheap is expensive. And to the sellers, let us have a stable and good market environment. If you see a counterfeit product, reach out to any association, anybody, and allocate money in market research. Under market research, allocate product development, product research, whereby tackle your issues of who are distorting your market. So I call out to you. SCN is also here. Soko Uganda is here. You can reach out. The emails, I'm told the emails are on the screen for SCN, so that we can create a very good, free and stable work and business environment. Thank you so much. Buy Uganda, build Uganda.
That was Hillary Mbabazi, a communications engineer, but is also a marketeer. He is the brain behind Soko Uganda. They are the engine that is driving Buy Uganda, Build Uganda, promoting local products, quality local products, I need to add. We've been having a conversation with him here on the disturbing but important subject of counterfeits. We hope you have learned one or two things about this important subject. If you're new here, this is the only show on the planet where we have a conversation and a discussion about counterfeits. As usual, we'd like to thank you for being a good audience, for always following us every Friday. Make a date with us, 8 o'clock. Don't be fake, buy and sell genuine always.